Hi, you guys. I'm so excited to be with you guys. I'm so excited, Doug, because JR is a rock star and his personality tests are absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I'm so thankful to have the opportunity to visit with him. So JR is the founder of of Brushfire Ministries. And Doug, I'm just telling you, you have had a great day because you're doing amazing things, helping your neighbor out. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, suddenly I just got a telephone call, and this person realizes I have a pickup truck. You don't want to be in a neighborhood with a pickup truck because you are now the conveyor of all your neighbors for things that they want to go down to Home Depot and Lowe's and all these other stores and pick up things they can't put in the trunk of their car. So I can't tell you how many times, it's probably happened 5 times in the last 2 weeks that I've been called on, to be a carrier of couches and refrigerators and bicycles and lawn gear, either that they pick up, they're taking to the, to get worked on the shop. That's what you do when you've got the only pickup in the neighborhood. So
I know, but you know what, Doug, I want to just give you a shout out because it is so kind for you to do that and help. And, that's awesome. Good job.
Yeah. You know what, though? I just think that, especially lately, Megan, we just haven't really been good Americans for each other. Turning on the television, it breaks my heart. Everybody's thinking of something bad and evil to say about each other. How about looking in the mirror yourself? What have you done lately? And we find out later that some of these people that are trying to tell us what to do, we find out they've got all these faults and shortcomings, and yet they're preaching us on how we should think and act and talk. And I'll be honest with you, I consider myself a very friendly person. Every male or woman that I see, I always congratulate or say hi to or something like that. That's all stopped now because I've had a couple people say, no, that's not me. That's not who I am. I really don't want to get into a conversation with someone, whether they are whatever they think they are. And I just leave it at hi now. And it's too bad because I think we've spent too much time looking at all of our shortcomings instead of all our pluses. And we still live in the greatest country in the world. And I just challenge people. I've had the good luck of, I don't want to say being around the world, but I've been into Asia and over in India and Europe. Believe me, when all these trips are over and I come back, I'm not saying I've taken a bunch of them. I've taken maybe 4 or 5. You have this incredible feeling when you cross the boundary of the United States. I said, I don't even care if the plane crashes now. I will be in America. And that's all. That's my parting gift for this life is to crash and burn in the United States of America.
Oh, you're so funny. All right. Well, so Doug, while you were helping the neighbor take care of his electric bike that got stolen
yes.
from the police station, God bless you. I had the opportunity because JR, who has Brushfire Ministries, has this amazing personality test. So I got to tell you, it was a blessing in disguise because it gave me the opportunity to take his profile test. And he's going to tell me all about myself. But JR, before you do that, please tell us about you and tell us what you're doing and what your mission is.
Well, thank you, Megan and Doug. I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk with you guys. Brushfire Ministry is a 501c3 that we go around helping believers discover what it is that God created them to do. So there are a lot of people that are like me in church, and they see the worship pastor and they see the missionary and they see all the other people that are doing observable things and getting joy and really feeling fulfilled. And they're sitting there in the pews going, that's not me. And I'm not that guy, or I'm not like her, and where do I fit? And Brushfires was really born when I received my purpose statement, which is, I can share later, so that I actually realized if I was going to have a closer walk with God, it was to be doing what it is that he created me to do. And so that's where the Brushfires Ministry was created, was the day that I asked myself, if you really believe this purpose statement, what are you going to do about it? And that's where the whole curriculum started coming together. And we've just been sharing it with people throughout the North Idaho area. And in fact, we just about a week and a half ago, we recorded a video series that we are now going to be able to allow this in January, coincidentally, to be able to share throughout the English-speaking world. So we were able to really be able to minister to a lot broader group of people that are really trying to find some real meaning and purpose in their life.
So just really quick, I got to tell this story, Doug, because I haven't had a chance to tell you the story. But so anyways, this personality test was created in 1980 for this specific purpose, but nobody wanted to use it. None of the churches wanted to use it. So the creator, his name is Stephen Johnson, which is my dad's name, which is really kind of funny to me. But anyway, he went to all these corporate America type places and they all bought it. They all wanted to use it. And then afterwards, 20 years later, the churches came back and said, oh, hey, we'd like to use this too.
Yeah,
Isn't that ironic, Doug?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's a small world. I'm reminded of that every single day. People that I meet, situations. I really don't believe that everything is accidental in our life. I look back on all the events that I've had in my life. There's no doubt that those were planned. The accidental part of that would be so incredibly high, anywhere from meeting my wife to where I went to school, all these sort of things. In many situations, I literally escaped death by seconds, involved in automobile crashes, rollovers, things like that. Things like that just don't happen. So I feel like there's something here that I need to do. And that's why I always go out of my way, like I said, to try to really, I'll say congratulate, but to really try to get to meet people, even that I don't even know. And because we're all on a mission, we're all on a mission until we can't go any further. And I think as we get older, like I am right now, I feel this need every single day to go out and do something. Not just pick up the bicycle guy, bring his bike back to his house so he can be happy riding around his electric bike. There's other missions out there, and it's you really feel deep down inside, wow, like you not just done something, you've done something really good that somebody really, really appreciates.
Well, you said it earlier, Doug, in our pre-conversation about the camaraderie that you had with your team members and so forth. And the thing is that all of us are designed for community. And so much of what we have going on in our world right now is creating disunity and causing division between men and women and races and all kinds of ways of dividing people. And that prevents us from getting the best. The best is when we unite and we work together and we accomplish good. And, you did that on the football field and other people do it in the corporate worlds. And,
right.
I'm doing it now through the ministry, but there is an inherent need for us to be working together. And the reality is, with our design, I get to meet all kinds of different people. They're all beautiful. They're all beautiful. It doesn't matter what the assessment says, about where they measure out. Every one of them is beautiful in their own way and perfect.
Yes, no doubt. I think, we're not as different as everyone says we are, because I find we're more like each other than not. And it's just been ideas and situations, I think, where we've been encouraged to find fault with everybody. And we're all trying to be the right person, that we can be, in terms of giving and gratuity and thankfulness and all those sort of things. And do we all get along? No, because there's certain things that some have different backgrounds and histories. And I think sometimes it's hard for people to shake that. I don't know, some of the things that have happened to me that have not been very good in life, I just forget about it. I go on to something else. I want to make it right. I want to improve. I want to be better. And sometimes I think too many people just are happy just to settle with, no, there's something like, I don't like you, or you've done something that I didn't really appreciate it. And, sometimes you can only go so far with excuse me or sorry or all those sort of things. I just think, unfortunately, everybody's on a different mission.
Right. We're designed for community, not our own individual tribes,
Right.
And so, at the end of the game, one of the things I love about watching, professional sports is that the other players, they go up and they congratulate each other.
Exactly.
What a great game they
Right.
did. They've been just trying to rip off each other's heads for the last 90 minutes, but now we're going to.
You know what, JR, it's funny you say that, because when I would be in a football game with Chicago Bears and I'm going to tackle somebody like Earl Campbell, a big running back in his day, and I would pick him up and he'd run over me or something like that. We didn't play each other very much because we were in different divisions and conferences. But I remember trying to pick him up every time that he went and got tackled. If I was in the area, I'd go over and help him up off the ground. And he asked me one time, "Hey, why are you doing this? What is it? What is in it for you?" I just said, "Well, no, I'm going to do everything I can to knock you down and on the ground and everything. But you know what? The play's over. Now we can go back to our little huddles, both of us, your team and my team, and we can encourage each other or tell each other how bad we're doing or how good we're doing. And let's get ready for another play." I mean, carrying this thing like on after the game, like so many times you hear of athletes that don't like each other and they fight in the locker rooms and stuff. No, the game is over. It's over. That's it. And we're in a different world. And I'm sorry, there's been times where I've gone over and apologized to guys that I played against that maybe I shouldn't have hit them or hit them too hard or whatever. I mean, it's nobody wants to feel like, there's like a bad person, so I would always compliment running backs. Great run, man. It was hard bringing you down. You're a monster. They didn't know how to act. They were going, "What are you talking about?" I go, I said, "You're a monster, man. I can't believe I got you on the ground." And they go, "Oh, thanks." And they thank me on the way back to the huddle. And I'm just thinking, anything I can do just to get those guys off what they think, oh, the Chicago Bears, they're terrible players. They hate people and they want to hurt them and all that. No, nobody wants to get hurt. And it's when you encourage them, wow, it takes that relationship to a different angle, and they just don't know what to say.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I get you.
Okay, so Doug, I got to tell you, so like I said earlier, I put myself out there and I took this personality test. And so I'm dying to know what it says. And again, I don't know what it says, but you're going to do the same thing in January. But anyways, so, and I think it's interesting because JR, the questions that are on this test are really spectacular. So go ahead and lay it out there. Tell Doug and I what I'm like.
Well, in the short period of time, you were able to take 3 of the assessments: the motivator role, impact styles, and temperaments. And so the very first one that kind of surprised me was the motivator role one with you. Motivator role is the part in any kind of group activity that we like to play. So it's the role that you like to play, and more importantly, the roles that you don't like to play. So in your particular case, I was expecting, just from our brief conversation, for you to be very high on the creative side of things, the creative and designer. And your designer did show up. You're like 20% on that. But the thing that was super dominant with you was the developer. You're all about taking the idea and making it happen. It's all about getting it implemented. Let's not just talk about that. Or, hey, if it worked this way, why can't we make it work that way? That was really surprising. I'm interested to see where your abilities show up, because that will give me even greater insight as to how that developer is going to be used. You also had a 20% on the refiner, which is a natural critic. So these are people that will find the little things that are wrong, but at 20%, it's not a major part of who you are. The maximizer, that whole idea of managing something and making sure that it runs this way forever, that is not you. Just run away from those things. That'll just bore you to tears. You won't like it, and it'll just cause you to say, eh. So the whole thing about that, though, is taking an idea and making it actually happening.
That's what I do.
well, you'll see with a lot of people that they'll do a lot of talking or they'll do a lot of criticizing, but when you actually look at what they've accomplished or what is being done, there isn't anything there. And that's because people like you are not as part of that team. You're all about making it happen.
100%. That's
So
well,
that's-
I'm glad that I tested the way I feel.
So then the impact style is like your big club. And I don't think anybody will be surprised that you came up as 60% persuader. So the thing about a persuader is that they have something to say and they need to be heard. It doesn't mean that people have to agree with you, but they have to show you the respect of hearing you out. At least hear what I have to say, then make your own decision. But that's where you are at. And so
That's correct about me too. That's totally it. I don't care. You're either in or you're out, on or off. I'm good either way, but I'm going to tell you what I want to tell you. And then you make the decision with how you want to go. That's 100% me.
right. And then the last one that I can talk about real briefly is the temperaments. So temperaments is sort of like the tribe that you naturally get along with. And so without being a whole lot of eyes there, under focused attention, you're like 70% socialite. So you really like working with a group of people. You like that energy that comes from the collective input from other individuals. The opposite end of that scale are internalists who really like quiet and to be able to concentrate and really focus their attention on. So that would be your design opposite in that particular area. The other one that sort of surprised me was on the realist. You're actually a fairly high realist, which I was expecting to be more on that futurist scale thing. I'm doing all this from memory. And
No, it's fine.
My memory is pretty good, but I do want to make sure I don't misspeak about that one. So bear with me for just one sec here.
Oh yeah, no, it's no problem. I think Doug taking these personality tests is hilarious because like I can answer the questions very quickly and like there's no like when I look at the questions, I know exactly who I am. That's why I love seeing the results because I want to know.
It's fun. Yeah, it's funny because every business has a need for certain personalities, and I can really see where you can identify someone that lines up with what the job requires, and you got a home run.
That's exactly it, and that's how it was used in the corporate world. I did misspoke. You are 7% on the futurist side, not the realist side. So there is an inspiration and intuition side of you, Megan, that you just listen to. That as you go through life, you're going to become more and more sensitive towards that. Where you'll say, "I don't know why, but I need to call them. I don't know why, but I need to."
Well, that happens to me every single day.
And that's the inspiration and intuition side of things. Under thinker feeler, you were right there in the middle. So there's a part of you that's very getting the objective accomplished, but there's also an equal part of you that is, how does this impact people? So you're not so focused in on the job that you don't care about other people, and you're not so overly concerned about the subjective nature of something where things don't get done because not everybody is 100% peachy with the idea. So you're right there in the middle, which is a very solid area for counseling in. And then the last one that, since our working together has been very quick and you were on the ball with virtually everything, didn't surprise me. You're 90% planner. So you are very organized in the way that you approach things. You've got a plan, you think things through, and when you look at a goal, you start planning all the steps to be able to get there. And so those are the basic assessments. The purpose statement comes from the ones that you're working on now, which is interest, abilities, and values.
Well, I think this test was really cool, and I still have 4 more to take, Doug. So you're going to take them all. I'm going to take them all, but this test is really good. And I think that the positive thing about this test is it really helps people focus on who they are and knowing who they are. I think knowing who you are is a really important thing. Knowing what your gifts are and knowing what you can do to help people and help the world, quite frankly. So JR, just really quick, we're not finishing yet, but just tell us, how do people take this test? How do people be able to do it like I did?
It's real simple. It's just online. You go to brushfires.group. One of the first buttons on there is take the assessments. Go ahead and grab that, and it'll lead you through the process. We do have a workbook that goes along with it for those that are interested, so they can get the workbook off of our site also. And then they can arrange the counseling session at the same time if they want to do that then, or if they want to do the assessments first, go through the videos and do that, and then decide to do the counseling session where we come up with the purpose statement. So brushfires.group, and it's really pretty simple well, you were on it, and
I would say it was really simple to use. It was very self-explanatory. The key is, the only 2 cents of advice I would give anybody is you want to save so that it emails you your report, and then finalize. So, but I only knew that because JR told me. So make sure and always save so you get the report emailed to you, and then finalize. But yeah, the system is super easy and it's really quick. It doesn't take that long. I mean, it's just that there's 7, but I took 3 of the tests within, 30 minutes. And, but I know what I want and I know who I am. So if you're a thinker, it might take you 45 minutes, but the point is it's really worthwhile. I would definitely recommend it.
Well, and Doug actually stepped on one of the real key elements of this. Think of it as a scouting report. You're trying to put together a team, maybe a group that you're trying to work with some kind of social impact or at church or whatever. Each one of those roles are really critical. In getting something done, Megan, your role as that developer is it's the linchpin. You actually connect the creative with the systems and structure and implementation people. So without that role, and so it would be like saying, hey, we're going to play football, but we're going to have all these 80-pound linemen. Well, if they're offensive linemen and they're 80 pounds and they're going against Doug and his friends, that's not going to be a very effective line. You want some guys that got some beef up there to protect, the running backs and the quarterbacks. Well, each one of these assessments is a scouting report so that you can actually see, where are our strengths? Why do we keep on making the same mistakes? Well, maybe you don't have enough diversity of thought, diversity of design within your specific group that would really benefit from that. So I'll just share this story. About a week and a half ago, we had a whole film crew here at my home recording the video series that we're releasing in January. And one of the most beautiful things, because I'm also a high developer, Megan, was to see all the different people playing the roles and me knowing their design and knowing how, watching them be feeling fulfilled doing what they were created to do. It's like Doug, lifting up a running back saying, hey, that was a great run. I can't run like that, but I can appreciate another athlete who is able to do it. Well, the creative side of things, without my creative people that were here that week, we wouldn't have ever had the idea come to fruition. And without the people that were organizing and planning it, nobody would have showed up on time. And it was a beautiful thing to watch. In fact, if I could, let me share you one of my greatest moments in doing the ministry as far as somebody giving us a
So when can we see the video series? Is it going to, well, in January, we're going to talk to you. So,
well, actually, so it's in editing now. So, that takes some time.
Yeah.
We're looking to beta test it this December with a group of some of our graduates. And then we're hoping to release it online in January. And that's basically the same teaching that I give in our workshops or in our 2-day seminars that we give. We can also travel to churches and do it that way too. So,
do you want me to? I was just going to say, do you want to? We'll do that in January. In January, we'll share a video so people can see it, and we're going to go over Doug's assessments.
You know what? Let me just say this. I read a book one time. It's about getting the right people on the bus. It was a business book, but it made a lot of sense. And whether you're on a team, a baseball, football, basketball, tennis, whatever, it doesn't matter. You got to get the right people on the bus. And you can feel all you want about all these great things you're going to do and everything. If you don't have people that follow you or that you can motivate, then you're not going to go anywhere. I mean,
Right.
there are certain people out there that I've seen on teams. I don't care how long I talk to them, they would never stop making mistakes. They would do whatever they wanted to do. This is not, this is not the Lone Ranger. You got to be part of a team because your production impacts the rest of us. So if you go out there doing whatever you want to do, going in the wrong directions, doing the wrong things, you're going to cause our team to lose. And that's why as a coach and as a player, I never wasted time on people that were either intentionally making mistakes or just said, no, I know better than you, Doug. I'm going to do my own thing. And even when I became a coach, hire slowly, fire fast. People that continually do something wrong and they know it, and they're going against a group, I'm sorry, you don't fit in with our team. We're going to lose. We're going to lose the game, the match, whatever it is. And we just can't have you on the team. And some of those conversations, you can't believe how those people would fight back at me like, no, I'm the greatest. I'm the best. I can do this. Well, yes, you can, but you always do it at the wrong time, or you do it in the wrong direction, or you're making mistakes. A lot of these, being on a team is mental as much as it is physical. It's mentally knowing, remembering names, remembering protocol, procedures. And if those people just continue to bumble, fumble, and fall, then, as a director or a coach of that group, I've got to make a hard decision and say, no, you must go. You don't fit into our team. You're not following the rules, the laws of the game, or whatever it is. And the same thing is true in life. I've never accomplished as many things in my life by myself. I always had a team, whether it was with Burger King or football or business or real estate or construction. It was always about the team. It was never about me, and that just, we helped each other. We encouraged each other. Man, it was so fun to be on a team like that versus like being in Congress right now. I'm sorry, I would not want to be in Congress right now because that is not a team. Everybody's an individual. They're all on different channels. They all wear different clothes every day. They all talk about different things. Somebody needs to get together and say, no, stop. We need to stop this right now and let's start working together. And there's common ground out there for us to find. And
that's why we have team podcasts, sports and
yes,
shopping.
That's it. You're right.
Team podcast, sports and shopping. Okay, just really note, and again, JR, I still want you to tell me again, because I want all of our viewers and listeners, but I gotta read this one, and I apologize, JR, but I want to read, because I always tell all of our viewers and our listeners, which we appreciate and love you guys. And thank you for the emails and the questions. And we respond very quickly. So any questions you have, mainly for Doug, because he's much cooler than me, and then otherwise me. But so I'm going to read, this came from, I'm just going to say the first name. I don't want to say the last name because you guys will Google him and figure out who he is. So Doug, when playing in a game, did you ever feel overmatched by a bigger, faster running back you had to tackle or having to force against huge beast linemen? And how did you overcome any doubts or fears in the field? Thanks, Bill. Okay, this is great. It's awesome. So let me tell you, Doug immediately responded because that's how Doug is. He's a rock star. So here's Doug's response. Bill, there were many times I played against bigger, faster, stronger players. I lifted weights and trained myself to run full speed into opposing players without fear. Sometimes it hurt, but many times I knocked opponents off their feet and shocked them with my aggression. It is imperative that a player know his assignments and responsibilities. After I accomplished my safety responsibility, okay, you didn't put this in here because you never brag. Number 46, defense. You never brag, but I'm going to add that in. Number 46,
thanks, Megan.
the toughest bear, as he's been known to be called. All right. I felt I was free to make physical contact with the opposition. I led the team in tackles my rookie season. I lined up 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. There were 10 Chicago Bears in front of me. I still managed to lead the team in tackles. I feel like I have a mission to perform and will not let anyone get in my way. After my athletic career, I continued pursuing many goals. I became an owner of a national franchise quick service food operator. I studied and obtained a real estate license, loan origination, construction, life, health, insurance license. I coached football in the Arena League, NCAA, NFL. I continue to still broadcast for NCAA and NFL football on a national sports radio station. I feel that life is a game. There is a beginning and an end, and I'm in the fourth quarter of my life. I take every day as it may be my last. There is always something to complete or even to start in a new direction. Doug. All right, Doug, that was an amazing response. Amazing. And Bill, I hope you're listening. And if you're not, you can see the recorded version. But thank you, because you brought out the best in Doug. And, Doug is a spectacular person. And I'm glad that you asked the question. And I'm glad we were able to respond right away. So anybody else that has questions, always, email me, m@megaz.com, or follow us. And, Doug and I are real down-to-earth people. We respond and we care about you. We care about everything. So just respond. So, all right, JR, thank you for that announcement.
Glad to play my role.
All right. So one more time, JR. So here's the thing. I'm going to finish my personality tests. Doug's going to take his, and then we're going to have you come back in January. But just again, please tell people how they can get a hold of you and how they can find you, because I'm not kidding you guys. This test was incredible.
Thank you, Megan. So the website is brushfires.group, BRUSHFIRES. And my email is jr@brushfires.group. And you're welcome to reach out to us. The assessments are all done online. We can mail you the workbook, and the videos are available also. The videos that we have coming out in January are more cinematic and really designed for the current culture, though we do have some videos that they could watch even if they can't attend one of our workshops. So that is also available as a home group choice. And we just love helping as many people as possible. One of the things that sort of inspired by hearing Doug's response to that man is that he knew his mission. Well, I will tell you, my mission, I thought, was to be this software business owner until I was 57, where God said, no, I got a different plan for you. And out of nowhere, here I am. There is a mission for every person here on earth, that God created them and gifted them in a certain way. And it's like Doug, you discover what your mission is, you train for your mission, and then you don't let anything that gets in between you and your mission. So good on you, Doug. That was awesome response to that man, very encouraging. And you are in your fourth quarter, but you may be in your most important quarter, sir. I just want you to know that.
I agree. I totally agree. I just told Megan, I like I said, I look at what happened in my life, and I prayed a lot, and I asked for assistance and direction. And it's crazy. It works. It works. And I'm not trying to brag or anything like that. It's when I go back to my town of 3,500 people back in Pennsylvania, a suburb of Pittsburgh, they go, "How did you do this, Doug? How did this happen? You're not even very big. How did this?" I said, "You got to believe in yourself, and you got to believe in there's a spiritual being above us, and you can't do it by yourself. I'm sorry. Like I said, you could be the most motivated individual, but what happens when you tear ligaments and you start breaking bones? You need some help." and I needed help all the way through. And even now I'm just amazed at, how things have happened in my life for the good. And there's no doubt that I feel like, there's somebody watching over me, and that's about all I can say.
That's awesome. That's awesome. This is like an amazing podcast. I'm so happy. I love it. It's totally in my zone. That's all I can tell you guys. All right. Well, anything else anybody else wants to add? Otherwise, we're going to see JR in January. And I will put all of his contact information in the YouTube live. Remember, it always takes a minute for me to be able to publish it and put it out because YouTube takes like 12 hours. But anyways, that's fine. But I'll put all of his contact information in there. And I would highly, highly, highly recommend taking this personality test. It's very fun, and it'll help you understand your mission, which is really important. You'll know exactly what you're supposed to do. I can't guarantee that, but I will tell you it's really a positive thing. So thank you, JR, for being with us. Thank you for your patience, and keep rocking.
We've got a large class starting tomorrow, an 8-week course. And then we're headed for that release in January. So yeah, God's really been blessing us, and I'm excited to see Doug's results and to talk to you guys again in January.
Sounds good. Well, I will get Doug to do the test. All right, guys. God bless you.
Thanks, JR.